Hello, my dear friends. I'm Michaela. Welcome to my astrology channel, Today Energy. This is a general yearly forecast for all of you born with ascendant and or sun and or moon in the sign of Virgo. So dear Virgos, let's check 2023 from astrological point of view for you. Now, on a global scale, the year promises to be quite dynamic because we have three outer slower planets and the karmic lunar nodes changing signs through their transits. And of course, this will influence the general tendencies in the society, but we're here to discuss if and whether this will trigger precisely you. Now, of course, as every video online about astrology, it's rather general, but you know that I try to make it as personal as possible. That is why today in my video, I will be mentioning precise degrees. So I hope you know well your natal charts and you know the positions of your natal planets, important points, not only by sign, by house, but also by degree, because that will count if you will feel what I'm talking about in 2023 or maybe later in 2024 or even later, or maybe you have passed through this influence already. So let's check it out. And also, if you don't know yet your natal charts, just use websites like astro.com or astroseek.com, which I like pretty much. And if you know your place, date, and hour of birth, like the time, hour, and minutes, then the website will build for you the chart and you can check those positions right there. Meanwhile, I will be sharing my screen with you. This is a transit chart, so how the sky looks like at some point at the beginning of the year, the beginning of 2022, because I wanted to show you with my mouse what I'm talking about, where will the planet go, which signs, and also the houses here I especially ordered from the point of view of a Virgo archetype, of a Virgo rising sign, sun or moon. According to ancient astrology, in all those three cases, we can count Virgo as our first house. All of the sign. This is according to the whole sign system, which I do use here on my channel for the general forecasts and videos. But I must just mention that in my personal private consultations, I work with the Placidus system, the division of the houses according to it, because I find it a little bit more personal, individual, a bit more precise, hence, right? But really, the whole sign system was the very first one used by the ancient astrologers. This is exactly how they would look at a Virgo rising or sun or moon person and describe the events happening from this point of view. When Virgo becomes first house, then the next natural sign, Libra, becomes second house, and so we have the 12 signs and the 12 houses, you see. Right, so let's start with a forecast. At the beginning of the year, we have a movement, and a pretty good one for all of us, I would say. On the 12th of January, Mars, who was for 2 months and a half retrograde, is finally stationing to go direct. It's a great news because Mars feels way more comfortable when he is fast and confidently charging forward with passion, enthusiasm, right? Mars is the planet of movement, of action. Also, though, it's the planet of conflicts, wars, accidents. That is why I would advise us all to be a bit more careful around the 12th, couple of days before and after. The planet will be stationary, so as if not moving from our earthly perspective. So it's very emphasized, it's quite intense, and there might be much more Marsian topics in our lives. So just try to avoid power struggles, conflicts, accidents, and so on. Let's see what areas of life, according to your natal chart, will go way faster and move forward from the 12th of January. Which areas of life are ruled by Mars in your chart? Well, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and this is your third house. So all sorts of communications, educational projects, online business, trading, buying, selling something, logistics, working with your vehicle, communicating with your siblings, neighbors, extended family, colleagues, projects that you do online or with your local community, your way of thinking, of learning, of expressing yourself will become much more confident. Then also Mars rules Aries, which falls in your 8th house. So the intimate life, the deep connection with your partner, the business partnerships, all sort of financial operations like working with others' money and finances, passive incomes, taxes, insurances, inheritances, all of this will unstuck as well. So you will be way more proactive in these spheres of life, as well as working with psychological issues, deep inner research and transformation, even outer research, maybe financial research, applying for mortgages and loans and so on, or receiving those, or scholarships will as well gain some shape and form and actively develop. Then we have another important transit, the one of Saturn. You see, after the last 3 years that Saturn was going through Aquarius, on the 8th of March 2023, he will move into Pisces, where he will stay till February 2026. Saturn is the big manager, is the auditor, the revising energy, streamlining, organizing, right? And since 2020, Saturn was doing all of this to topics of life, which naturally, Virgo, you rule, because you're the 6th sign of the zodiac. So you naturally rule the 6th house of work, of daily routine, of health and taking care of your body, of habits, good habits, bad habits, the ones that actually define our vitality and health, service to others, other people serving us, working for us nowadays, and how can we help people through what we can be useful, and kind of repair things, repair broken things or unfair situations. Wow, this is the area of life where we can burn our karma. And by the way, Saturn is the planet of karma. So if in the last 3 years or before the 8th of March, we're talking here, you noticed some problems with your health, then it was meant to be, so you can dig deeper and discover what's going on and what are you doing to cause this imbalance in your body. Too much work, lack of sleep, lack of good food, or overindulging with fats and sugar and so on. What exactly do you need to change? Now here Saturn can be very strict with you, so you can start some strict diet or fasting according to some religious holidays, or just 1 day a week or something like this. Now, of course, don't starve yourself. You know, Saturn is a bit too rigid, and you can go very basic diet, but it must be still kind of healthy, right? And bring you some nutrition value. But also you can do very serious exercises. You see, Saturn is not about running a sprint, like quick and sudden. No, he's slowly but surely. So he's like the marathon. So it's like every week, twice a week, I'm going to do this exercise, but in the long run, and of course, in the long run, it will bring you a more healthy, solid body. You might meet very serious doctors, like a bit criticizing you, a bit aloof, right? Because Saturn is like the parent who is giving you the sermon, like the preaching you, why did you do this and that? Saturn is criticism, so try not to be too self-critical, whether regarding health or work. You can become a bit more strict and critical boss, because Saturn, 6th house is how we communicate with our employees and people who work for us, but also equally you can meet very serious specialists, workers, house assistants, cleaning staff, right? Who will be very strict and thoroughly and carefully doing their job. So you don't have to worry about that. You can delegate them some work. Also, you can be very serious about your work. Now, on one hand, Saturn can give tiredness and a bit like, I would say, even boredom and depression, because it's the routine. You have to do constantly the same things. And here Saturn will show you, is this profession for you? Because if you become terribly depressed, right, and you don't see any joy in what you do and any respect and reward from colleagues, from employer, then why should you keep doing this, right? Or if you were just constantly helping your relatives or someone, and suddenly Saturn makes you become more pragmatic, more realistic, and say, hey, this person can do it themselves. I'm just playing the role of a parent for them or a savior, but they should probably stop being the victim, let's say, right? Or quite the opposite, Saturn might give you the sense that you can help to some other person, community, situation with your knowledge, with your skills, and gain some authority and respect. Saturn is about status, and here you gain status either through work, through working with your health and being proud of yourself, right? Proud that, let's say, you cut the sugar or you are exercising no matter what twice a week. It makes you feel better and build this inner core physically and psychologically. Saturn is a planet of only the essential. He is a bit ascetic, so you might have smaller office, smaller team, less money, let's say, maybe even less job, depends if you are on the right place for you, because if you are, then Saturn can make you a bit more ambitious and already start thriving or trying to achieve something as a high management position, for instance, because you know that you are there for, let's say, 20 years already, and you deserve some career growth and promotion, right? And to manage others, to become some kind of a authority in your team. Saturn is a self-discipline, so it's great again for your daily routine, for your habits. You have to have a schedule, right? So your body can be not stressed, but knowing that every day and at certain hour you do certain things. It's good for good, proper organization and efficiently. Saturn is like doing the spring cleaning, because he is the planet of karma, right? And also of duties, responsibilities. Here it's about work or some kind of repairs at home or the vehicle or something, taking care of someone in your family. So maybe that's how you can work out and build positive karma meanwhile. And also it's a planet of time, so he really doesn't want us to waste time on something unrealistic or unworthy, or something that is not stable and solid enough to give long run results. So that's about it regarding work and health. And then on the 8th of March, Saturn moves into Pisces. That's even more important for you, because Pisces is right opposite Virgo. So eventually Saturn will even oppose your sun or moon or rising sign. Depends on the degrees, because in 2023, Saturn will reach just to the 7th degree of Pisces, right? So only the first decade of Virgos will massively feel this transit. Later ones will feel it already in later years, 24, 25. But let's comment on what does Saturn mean in your 7th house or conjuncting your descendant. Well, he will be reassessing, revising your relationships, as personal as well as professional ones, your contracts, your agreements, what you sign, what you promise to deliver, because Saturn likes serious attitude, serious engagement, commitment. Everything must be, if we talk about personal relationships, there rather you would tend to establish something more traditional, maybe a marriage in a more classical way, more patriarchal way, if you will, or you will be meeting a bit older partners, wiser, with more experience, or people who occupy higher social positions, some kind of managers, CEOs, or politicians being in the government. Yeah. Also, you might meet just more Capricorns, or more like less emotional, more aloof people, let's say so. Saturn narrows down, remember. So it's only the real deal, only the most loyal, the most serious will stay in your life, but you will have to pay them the same attitude. It's about commitments, really. So you cannot commit to many people, right? Even if we talk about your clientele or your business partners, it's going to be rather lesser than them, fewer than them, but more faithful, more loyal, more like really standing, like, I don't know, like the wall behind your back, as we say, protecting you, securing you. You might meet more paternalistic figures. Yeah, Saturn is like the inner parent. Unfortunately, it can be people who are either more critical towards you, or more strict, more rigid, more thrifty, right? Not so like easygoing and larger than life, not at all. But you know that you can rely on them. You see, when Saturn will be opposing your ascendant, yeah, when he will be on your descendant, that really much mean that your partners can help you professionally progress, or they can be quite ambitious, or they might be a bit insecure. Honestly, Saturn tries to achieve in order to prove himself. The point is to just make, really, like, work hard to achieve something truly tangible, solid, long lasting, but not out of fear, really. And this is one of the options, what kind of people you can meet. Of course, if you love them, then you will also support them and try to cheer them up and trust in them. But the same way, these partners can either be your business partners or help you grow professionally and mature. Yeah, Saturn in the best case is someone very grown up and mature and knowing what they want, disciplined, and teaching you discipline as well, Virgo, even though I don't think you classically need it. You are a very disciplined sign too. So that's not such a hard transit here. Now it's a bit tougher maybe if Saturn opposes your Sun, because then you might feel with less self-esteem, less vitality, less enthusiasm. You might meet more challenges, blockages to your personal initiatives, to wanting to shine the light. There might be people who are doubting you or criticizing. But anyways, even through working with them, convincing them about something, or overcoming their challenges, or their insecurities projected onto you, right? Opposition is sometimes about projection. They might show you as a mirror what you have to work within yourself, as self-criticism, perfectionism, overwork yourself just to prove yourself, being the parent to everyone else, right? Maybe you should take care more of yourself. Put personal boundaries. It's so important. With Saturn in 6th house is personal boundaries with your colleagues and in the work environment. With 7th house is personal boundaries with your business or private relationships, or even clients or followers. So if they're too critical to you, you can say, stop, I don't need your unconstructive criticism. You might learn to gain more stamina, determination, more persistency, more patience even, through your contacts and relationships. When Saturn opposes your moon, you might feel a bit more emotionally down, a bit more isolated, kind of disconnected. try to avoid this negative self-talking, negative feelings of doubt, of guilt, shame, sadness. Don't put your emotional armor, right? Because moon generally wants connection, wants protection, wants coziness and security in some way. Well, you see, the moon in Virgo would gain all of this through staying healthy, staying busy, through being useful to someone, helping someone, solving problems, paying attention to details, trying everything to be perfect. But here Saturn can crush all of this if it's too much, right? Remember, he's the big karmic teacher. So maybe he'll show you that either you're too dependable or too protective, and maybe you need also someone to take care of you. With the moon here, maybe because the moon represents place of living, so maybe you will be in a tinier, more narrow place of living, maybe because you get married or move in with a partner, so now you have to share one room in a rented apartment, or while you are building your own property, you have to rent something smaller, or you have to go abroad to work hard so you can pay back your mortgage back home. Really, circumstances might be different, but together with your partner, you learn as well to be more pulled together emotionally, like less emotional overall. But please don't try to block your feelings, needs, and emotions, no matter how harsh is the partner. Maybe there will be separation, by the way. For some, it might be marriage, but for some, it might be really serious reassessment of what do you really need in a relationship, what level of security, commitment, and so on. Maybe also you don't want someone who burdens you too much. So yeah, interesting and very important transit. Also, look at that. In your 7th house, you have Neptune. In 2023, he will cover between 22 and 27 degrees of Pisces. So here, you will hear my words and understand better the situation if you are in say, the last decade of Virgo. Then Neptune will be opposing you. And honestly, it's a very personal topic, of course, depends on the wiring of your natal chart, but normally Virgos would cope better with the Saturnian transit, because normally Saturn is a ruler of Capricorn, of an earth sign, work-related sign, social achievements. It's just that it can really make your self-esteem even more fragile, let's say, than normally. Oh, but Neptune is quite the opposite energy. If Virgo likes precision, details, organization, schedule, the Neptune is like, hey man, relax, go with the flow, let's pray, let's just hope everything is gonna be fine. You have to just to believe, right? And there is some truth in this as well, right? Because it's an axis. And things never should be black or white. The truth is somewhere in the middle. But Neptune rules your 7th house, your partners, or your subconsciousness. And there is this place for just blind faith, just unconditional love, right? But maybe you'll meet such partners a bit more distracted or more artistic, more spiritual. They might be foreigners, right? Neptune rules everything exotic. Maybe they will teach you to be more charitable, more relaxed indeed, more romantic. Neptune can bring much more romantic style for you, and people who know you normally in the last year or next year will be like, whoa, I don't recognize this Virgo, this person, because they're so sensitive suddenly, so romantic, so impressionable. And truly, if Neptune opposes your moon, be careful, because you might emotionally, mentally become like a sponge that absorbs others' moods, needs, social. It's good for feeling the social trends, right? If you are in the marketing or business, media, maybe you'll meet people who are actors, dancers, photographers in the media, some celebrities, but try not to fall in love with a celebrity or idol, or creating your ideal person in front of you and then just suffer disappointment and self-deception, because actually these people not the ones you want them to be. Or also, of course, in a classical way, be careful of con artists and liars and people with addictions, people with unstable mental health. You don't have to get into the Karpman triangle of playing the victim, the savior, the aggressor, and go in rounds and rounds with people like this that would play the victim and then blame you and then be aggressive towards you and then saying that you need to be saved and so on. This is really unstable psychologically. But on the other hand, maybe really your partner will be a bit sick, so you'll have to take care of him or them. By the way, Neptune, if he opposes your sun, you yourself might feel a bit more tired physically, a bit like lost direction, really, especially in the times when Mars was retrograde, not knowing where to aim, to what to fight for. With Saturn in your sixth house, could be that you are like considering to stay in the same work position or just do something different, right? And yeah, you can lose a bit your focus and just want to withdraw and relax and watch Netflix. I hope you never will fall for addictions to substances, alcohol, anything that leads to false sense of liberation through escapism. But you might meet such people actually. And they might project on you something. Neptune and also opposition are the planet and aspects of, unfortunately, projection, but also it can be mirroring. So you can see clearly in others what you have to work inside you. Maybe you need to allow yourself a bit more relax and let others really be more gentle with you and love you unconditionally without criticism. But let's see, it's a good way, it's a good combination here to have Saturn and Neptune together, especially in 2024 when they will be conjunct. There will be this mixed bag of energy, and hopefully Saturn will be the sobering energy, the energy of knowing exactly what foundations you're building and with whom, but also keeping your boundaries, right? Because Neptune can be like all merging with the others, which not always is healthy. Be careful if Neptune opposes your sun or moon, and not to become hypochondriac, but you might discover some psychosomatics and link some physical problems and issues with something more psychological. At the end of the day, I believe as well that most of the problems are born first through our emotions, stress, reaction on something, right, that psyche couldn't cope with eventually. And even it's good thing when there are physical symptoms, so we can work on that. Yeah, be careful also with allergies, with liquids, with intoxication. Protect your immune system when Neptune opposes your ascendant, sun, or moon. Right, then another important transit is of Pluto. That's a historical one. For the first time since its discovery in 1930, Pluto goes into Aquarius on the 23rd of March 2023. But because he's so slow, he'll just manage to reach the 0 degree in 21 minutes of Aquarius. There he will turn retrograde and go back to finish something important in the last 3 degrees of Capricorn. But nevertheless, this 2-3 months is like a good foretaste, appetizer, sneak peek of what we can expect as energy, even collectively, for the next 20 years. That's how long Pluto will be here in Aquarius. Let's just first see what he was doing in Capricorn from your perspective. Capricorn is your 5th house, you see, so that's your relationship with children or attitude towards children, and your romantic relationships, intimate life. How do you risk in life? How do you show your talents? How do you have fun, enjoying yourself? what hobbies do you have, and possibly your private business. Oof, where to start from? Well, first thing first, about children. Maybe you have had harsh relationship with children. Maybe they felt that you are over controlling, overprotective, the helicopter parent, right? Maybe you were unreasonably afraid for their safety, their life, because Pluto oftentimes can give inner psychological troubles, phobias, paranoias. They don't always have to be necessarily supported by physical evidences in the real world. But that's our inner fear. So maybe through the relationship with your children, you can actually discover deeply through self-analysis what's wrong with your inner child. What are you afraid of? Why don't you live your life on the fullest? Well, maybe your parents were scaring you off with something when you were a child, or your teachers, maybe there was some abuse or power struggle, manipulation, and so on. But of course, you should avoid those things in relation to your children or partner. You see, Pluto teaches us harsh lessons in order to become stronger, to become stronger, more self-confident. You still have to enjoy relationships with others, but if you don't have those, not to suffer and not to crumble. And in this case, Pluto teaches us all of this through relationship with children, lovers, and what we love to do. So fifth house is the self-confidence, is the house of the sun of Leo. So here Pluto might either ruin your self-confidence in order for you to build it from scratch, so it can be more true and authentic, not false, not pretended, not depending on the approval of others. But you must know your self-worth and value here. And of course, if you have problems and low self-esteem, then Pluto here can put you in situations in which you prove to yourself that you are worthy and you are talented and you have the right to be yourself. Yes, maybe it will be through power struggles, criticism. Maybe you are a stage person, performer, a blogger, and Pluto can give you something shady with your followers, maybe some stalkers or critics. Maybe your own romantic partner will be mega obsessive with you, controlling, jealous. Maybe you will live through crisis moments like betrayal, abandonment, shake up of your trust to this person. But this should not keep on dragging with you forever. You should deal with it. Always I say that it's good to work with a psychologist, or look for the meaning of things through astrology, tarot, esoterics overall, or philosophy, whatever helps you. But the real deal, classical psychology is always welcomed. So here maybe you have to work with your psychologist on why are you obsessed with someone, why you can't let go of your lover or your child, or why you are afraid to have children, right? Your children might experience Plutonian themes in their life, some ups and downs, some processes of transformation. Maybe they leave home, maybe they go abroad, they struggle a bit, but they learn to be independent and rely on themselves. Maybe they have children themselves, right? So some dramatic but also life-changing events in lives of your children. About hobbies, you can be totally obsessed with some hobby, like a painter who paints day and night, a photographer who is just, you can't live a day without learning about photography, practicing. Then you have a exhibition, and yeah, Pluto likes all or nothing, the big things, the big performances. You must outgrow or out kind of fight your, let's say, stage fear, shyness, and so on. And Pluto will throw you into the situations where you have to shine, where you have to be yourself, authentic, and show yourself to the world, your talents. You might discover Plutonian talents. There might be, something in occultism, esoteric psychology, finances, surgery, tattoos, piercings, body transformation, psychic transformation, emotional transformation, taboo topics. Maybe you will be interested in such shady governments or tinfoil theories, something like conspiracy theories, criminology, something like that. Just try not to get too paranoid or too obsessive. And finally, you can turn your hobby into a business, because Pluto is about big resources, big finances, big investments. Someone might be your sponsor investing in you so you can develop your skills and talents, and then, of course, pay back to these people or institutions, but through your own creations, whether artistic creations or business. Right, so be careful with risks, because fifth house is about competitions, doing some risky things, and Pluto can be a bit dangerous here for risks, speculations, and so on. Yeah. Then Pluto goes into your sixth house, and you see here, it's good that Saturn passed through here first. So he made a little spring cleaning. He tried to make you more organized, evaluate if the certain activity, job, and routine is for you or not. Be more strict with your diet, disciplined. So that's a good preparation for then Pluto coming. And if something is not authentic, truthful, or proper for you, Saturn will create the circumstances to crumble it all down, and he will dig even deeper, which, hey, is not bad. If we talk about work and health, both of them, they need some serious analysis, research. Regarding health, you might turn to something more classical, traditional, non-conventional, something more related to psychology, right? So again, discover the deeper reasons of your physical symptoms. But okay, regarding daily routine and life and tasks at work and regarding health, you can become a little bit paranoid here. So please try to avoid becoming, like, if possible, behavior wise, like OCD, obsessive compulsive about something, about the details, because you might become too critical towards yourself and just tire yourself to death, really. Like, give yourself some space to relax, because remember, Pluto is obsessive. If in fifth house, by the way, Pluto can be obsessed about parties, drinking, sex, and you really should be careful here, because it can lead you to exhaustion and some diseases and whatnot about this, and falling deeply in love with someone, but then it's just the house of romantic relationships, not marriage. So you might pretty much suffer here with Pluto in fifth if you are obsessed by your partner or kids. And in sixth house, you can equally get obsessed by health or work and start worrying too much. Hypochondriac, please be reasonable. Research. Speak with professionals. Maybe you will be pushed by doctors. There might be harassment by someone in the company, colleagues, or doctors, but you have to resist and find your own truth. Maybe you will meet the right specialist who will actually help you heal, because Pluto is a very powerful planet of transformation and regeneration. And in sixth house, you can transform your health, obviously, through healing it, exercises, diet, some special herbs, some special vibration medicine, Bach drops, meditations, and so on. And you will be completely decided. If they tell you to cut off meat, you will cut off meat like overnight. You will cut off smoking and so on, because Pluto is extreme focus, dedication, decision, fearless. Pluto is fearless as well. So, I mean, again, be careful not to push your poor colleagues to state of despair, overwork them or yourself, burnout. But once again, Pluto will show you which is the right job for you and which is not. Pluto is the big money. Pluto is the big business, big finances, resources. So you might start work in a bank or in a business or establish something of your own, become your own boss. Because Pluto in the sixth really doesn't like to be commanded by someone. And you have to work something you truly are passionate about and truly believe in this cause. Yeah, there might be power struggles with people who work for you. Maybe you'll discover something about them, like unloyalty, crimes, theft, or something like this. But yeah, about work, maybe you'll start working as a psychologist, therapist for people who suffer discrimination or violence or abuse. Help children, right? Sixth house is work off your karma, serve others through your skills, help restore the balance. It might be in the legal system, it might be helping ecologically the planet, yeah, something. It must be with a cause, really. And you can do a lot here. There is a lot of dedication and fearlessness. You might go to some luxurious office or do some politics, because Pluto likes expensive things, like this black marble or something like this. And you will get a lot of stamina and willpower, surely, if we talk about work and health. Oh, now let's talk about some more positive transits, the planets who can help us. Of course, I mean, obviously, every planet is trying to teach us something. It's just the methodology is a bit different, right? For instance, Jupiter likes to give, to expand, but then the question is, will you manage to cope with such a big thing? Or will you grab the opportunities that Jupiter throws at you all at once, right? So Jupiter in 2023 will move first through Aries till the 17th of May. And you see, this is your 8th house. This is what I'm talking about. First, Jupiter can... Well, let's start from the personal relationships, intimate relationships. There can be many of them, or one big love with a lot of optimism, faith, hope. You might admire your partner. There might be super generous, larger than life. They might be teachers, mentors, super inspirational figures for you. So big romance, really. Deep love, deep passion. At the same time, 8th house talks about their finances, of your partners. So they might live through possibilities of expansion and growth financially, which somehow will benefit you as well. Or like family business might go very well, or your own business. Your business partner might invest the bigger share for you both to, start developing. But again, be careful not to fall as in dependency, to become dependent on someone financially, for instance, or emotionally, like. Then 8th house are truly our financial benefits and passive incomes from rents, from investments, from tax returns, or inheritances, something from abroad, some scholarship from foreign university might come, or international grant might be considered for you to develop your own project, which can be, you see, artistic, creative, business one. 8th house is also the house of pregnancy. So here you might get pregnant, right? Jupiter likes to make dreams come true, if that's what you really wish, to have children. And remember, Pluto will teach you lessons, important life lessons, through your children. Right. So, and 8th house normally is the house of crisis situations. So here Jupiter can soften those down or make you learn from them, be wise about what's going on. It's for my highest good. Read some self-help literature, inspirational quotes, follow some gurus, leaders, astrologers, psychologist might come to help you out. Jupiter is usually this cavalry that arrives at the battlefield to help your army win the battle at the end. So it might be winning over paranoia, obsession, heal your traumas, insecurities, everything that is buried deep inside your subconscious. 8th house is doing this deep research on your subconscious to drag out the dangers, the fears, the monsters, meet them, work through them, maybe befriend them even. And there you also find your biggest treasures. Like you yourself can become the healer, the shaman, the psychologist, the motivator for other people, the financial consultant, the lawyer, and help, let's say, parents to, let's say, fight for their kids after a divorce or for alimony, something like that. Right, and then after the 17th of May, Jupiter goes into Taurus, and that will be your 9th house. And naturally, the 9th sign of the zodiac is Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. So 9th house, Jupiter likes to be here. He can be very efficient, expanding your thirst for knowledge, for experience, for adventures, making you even more optimistic, spreading your gaze, your sight over the little complications, obstacles, details, just seeing the big picture, choosing your direction in life, seeing your goal, not seeing the obstacles, right? That's why we know Sagittarius and Jupiter to be so hopeful, faithful, optimistic. It's not just empty daydreaming, definitely. It's truly charging towards your goal, and just seeing in the distance, in a sense, where you are headed. And this helps you make daily steps towards it. Jupiter in the 9th can give you wonderful travels or meeting special people from abroad or being in an international environment, doing good business through tourism, international affairs. What else? You might be winning some court cases. Definitely, positive collaboration with governmental institutions and their representatives. They might be willing to assist you, to help you, to support you. And expanding your own status and kind of, first of all, 9th house is about studies. Maybe you are starting higher education courses, bachelor, master degree. Maybe you start studying to be a PhD, you start writing your thesis. Maybe you already, with Jupiter here in the 9th, after doing some serious research, you publish your scientific work and you are suddenly famous. 9th house is popularity through our knowledge, sharing our opinions with others, being on the spotlight, being the celebrity in some conferences, award ceremonies, international projects, where you can go and shine and gain popularity, gain followers, whether if you're a teacher, lawyer, mentor, writer, maybe you're publishing your book, your novel. So yeah. Self-expression, confidence, it's great transit for self-confidence, to become the master, the specialist, the expert. Right, and then we have the transit of the karmic lunar nodes. There are two of them, always opposite each other. We have this symbol of the horseshoe is the north node, talking about the future and growth and expansion through new practices, knowledge, experience. And across it is the south node, which is about the baggage we carry with us, our comfort zone, the skills and knowledge we already have. We don't necessarily have to forget about it, right? But certainly the South Node shows what we have to kind of maybe meet once again, process, and let go. In ancient Vedic mythology, this was a demon. He tricked the gods, he stole the elixir of eternal life and became immortal. But the gods got angry, cut him into two halves. So now it's just the head of the dragon and the tail of the dragon. The head of the dragon is insatiable, it wants new experience, new people, have fun, try. It's like trial and error. It's about new things which are exciting, a bit scary, but still we're drawn to them, maybe a bit obsessive as well. And the South Node is the tail of the dragon, so it's more spiritual and it's more about processing and letting go, really. Excreting. I love to work with them in our natal charts, like the sign, the house where they are, what they mean for the native, like, because it's about also fears, but also it's about desires. You can overdo things, you can stuck in comfort zone and so on. So it's really, really important and interesting for your soul's mission to see it. But transiting nodes, they change signs every 1.5 years. And on the 18th of July, the North Node goes from Taurus into Aries and the South Node respectively from Scorpio into Libra, because 95% of the time they move in a retrograde motion in this opposite zodiacal order, reversed zodiacal order. So for you, Virgo, that means that for the next 1.5 years, your personal development will be through the 8 house topics. We just discussed them, how positively you look at them with Jupiter here, how positively you look at psychological health, inner emotional transformation. Like normally Virgo is a very mental sign, very practical, pragmatic, and 8th house is rather emotional. You have to believe in something, as well as with Jupiter in the 9th, without certain plan, without certain facts and proof. In 8th house, yes, you have to research deeply, but sometimes it can be through hypnosis, sometimes through psychology, psychoanalysis, right? So it's more about maybe theory as well, unless it's the behavioral psychology, which is more about what you do on the daily level to change your attitudes and behaviors. But it's a lot about digging in yourself, dwelling in yourself, introspection, and of course meeting some kind of turbulent things within you. You don't like turbulent things, right? You like to face the problem, solve the problem, face the problem, solve the problem. But here it's more about this inner problems from the past or your subconscious. Also, you might be very how to say, like, insatiable about sexual experiences, about partnerships. You might try several of them until you find the right one for you. You might meet more exotic partners, younger ones, or someone who is very like attracting you, interesting, magnetic. Again, you can become too obsessed with with someone romantically. You will grow and develop through other people's help to you. So you can accept emotional, financial help. Maybe you are pregnant and that's why you have to rely more on the income of your partner, or you start receiving alimony, or you buy 2 properties, you make them Airbnb, you rent them and you go to live abroad, but sustain yourself only through these investment, or you receive an inheritance, which allows you to be more free about just going and studying psychology for 6 years, right? Also, 8th house teaches us to live through transformations, crisis, and constant rebirth. And at the same time, it teaches us to let go of things, to meet our deep monsters, right? To befriend them, maybe to heal, of course, but also not to get too attached to something, because everything in life experience this constant cycles of death and rebirth. So less hoarding. You see, the South Node will be in the second house, which wants to keep things. It's work, it's savings, it's acquiring possessions, property, clothes, furniture. So maybe you'll donate some of them, maybe you'll sell some of them, declutter your space, have a diet. Second house is how we feed our body. So maybe something a bit more spiritual food for the soul. But again, I'm against the starvation, of course. Just less interested possibly in work and accumulating finances, more like investing them, make money work for you. First you work for money, then you make money work for you. And yeah, with this transits overall in Saturn in the 6th and the South Node in the 2nd house, maybe you'll get very tired. And for some time you'll quit your job, you'll go to this unemployment office, they will look for something for you. Meanwhile, you will decide to study second education, get a second degree in order to work something different, possibly. Learn to share and trust others as well with the North Node in 8th house. Business, it can be good for business, something modern, technological, high-tech, startup, something like that. Then wherever the nodes go, there we have eclipses as well. I'll mention briefly now about the 4 eclipses we will have in 2023, and then throughout the course of the year, if all goes well, I hope to record separate videos describing each of them in depth. The first eclipse is solar, so massive new beginnings on the 20th of April at 29 degrees Aries in your 8th house. And it even squares Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius. Wow, that's going to be a massive transformative time for all of us. For you, it might relate to healing, purging, detoxification, even maybe operation to remove something toxic from your body, change of routine, change of work, maybe having children. Interesting. Then we have a lunar eclipse on the 5th of May at 14 degrees Scorpio. That's your 3rd house. Some culmination, ending in some sell or buy procedure, logistics, moving, graduating, taking certificate, finishing education, relocation, maybe start practicing newly acquired skills. Something in the life of your siblings or neighbors might change. You might change the neighborhood. Something in the small business as well might culminate and change and transform. Then we have another solar eclipse on the 14th of October at 21 degrees Libra. You see, that's your 2nd house. Solar eclipse means something new, but it's with the South Node and with Mercury. So maybe you're getting rid of some old work contract and agreements, and in order to start some new financial beginning and deal. Then we have a lunar eclipse on the 28th of October at 5 degrees Taurus. That's your 9th house. Lunar eclipse means a culmination, but it's with the North Node, so something must end in order for something new to begin. So there you go, maybe ending of a job in order to begin to travel or to work in an international environment or to start studying something. Maybe a court case is finishing and you're earning some income from this trial. Okay, then a couple of words let me mention about the beautiful Venus, the planet of love, pleasures, friendships, and money. Venus usually spends 1 month in each sign, but in 2023 she will stay 4 months in Leo, in your 12th house, from the 6th of June till the 10th of October. Well, Venus in the 12th is rather subtle. It talks, because 12th house is about the past, it's about inner work, about being more on your own, and why not to have pleasure from all of this? Venus, maybe you're going to some clinic for some health procedures or changing of your look through some plastic surgery, for instance. Maybe you go to sanatoriums, to retreats, maybe with other young women, Venus, right? Like yoga retreat, to ashrams, to the nature, and you take it slowly, you pamper yourself, you take care of yourself, you are forgiving and nice to yourself in times when you have to pass through such intense inner transformation and let go of something and make some important decisions in your life, set new goals. At the same time, you have to spend some quiet, peaceful moments with yourself. Venus might bring you money through some projects that you do in isolation, something more artistic, spiritual, or maybe doing something online or remotely. You might even meet love online, someone from a different land, different culture, different continent. Just don't fall for secret relationships, right? Because with such a passion and intensity with Pluto in the house of love, you might hook up with someone who is already taken or something like this. So I think that's rather should be the case of ending such relationships, I believe, and you will be given this chance when Venus will be retrograde, because that's why she is 4 months in Leo, as from the 23rd of July till the 4th of September, Venus moves backwards. And this is a time to reevaluate. It's an excellent time to let go, to release some love affairs, some unhealthy attachments, some old feelings to someone who is no longer in your life. Get rid of old style, old clothes, donate something, do something charitable, right? It's good with 12th house is about caring of the whole universe, of everyone. It's good for unconditional love, really, Venus in the 12th. But while she's retrograde, it's good time to reassess, reevaluate your love life, what you like in life, what you love in life, how much you treasure yourself, your self-esteem, your self-worth. All of these topics, think them, work on them with your psychologist. And then already when Venus goes direct, and even later when she goes into your first house and conjuncts your ascendant and crosses your ascendant, then you can proactively start relationships, change your style, start some financial projects. But with Venus in the 12th, it's more about spending rather than earning, to be honest. So it can be good with buying something recycled, something secondhand, something antique, for instance, from the past. But it's great time to work with maybe you discover that you have this bad habit to do the people pleasing, you can't say no, you're too attached in relationships. So it's all psychological, and you can do regressions to past lives, constellations to work with the connection with your parents and relatives, establish more loving connection with your soul, with your ancestors. When Venus is retrograde, really, I don't recommend starting new business, new relationship, doing some cosmetic or procedures or plastic surgeries, new investments. You can repeat the ones you did already. You can restart the ones you dropped in the past because you didn't have time to finish them. You can finish them. You can get rid of something you don't like in those, right? You can repeat and try to change something. But I believe already once Venus will be direct after the 4th of September, really all the Venusian things in your life will go away smoother, and you will not be anymore with these pink colored glasses and suffer some self-deception. Right, then Mercury goes 3 times retrograde in 2023. He's your ruler, so it's always important for you when Mercury goes retrograde. You specifically have time to rethink, reevaluate, reassess, to finish something, to wrap up something, to revive something you dropped in the past, right? So it's important time for you. And so the first time is between 21st of April till the 15th of May. Mercury will be retrograde in Taurus in your 9th house. So maybe meeting some old friends from abroad, from the past, traveling to countries you already have been to, finishing some court cases, dealing with documents and authorities, finishing your education, your studies. Then from the 23rd of August till the 15th of September, Mercury retrogrades in your sign between, let me check, between the 8th and 21st degrees of your sign, right? So if your sun, moon, or rising sign are between 8th and 21st degree of Virgo, you will have Mercury cross you 3 times. So that's a time of planning, preparation, negotiation, evaluation, and finally then you will be so well prepared to start something new and of big quality, right? But all Virgos will generally feel this Mercury retrograde. Good time to finish something from the past, to repair something, to research. And finally, from the 13th of December till the 1st of January 2024, Mercury will retrograde from Capricorn into Sagittarius. Till the 23rd degree of Sagittarius will reach Mercury before then going back to Capricorn. Well, we talk about here 5th house and 4th house, so maybe old lovers will contact you again, reestablish communication with your children, reestablish some old hobby and business, and then maybe go back home, meeting with family members you haven't seen in a long time, reassessing documents regarding home and property, selling property, and so on. Wow, so dear Virgo, that's how the year looks like for you ahead. You're definitely in a process of deep inner transformation of your health, of your finances. You learn to rely on others and to be more interested in occult, esoterics, and psychology. You see, even with Venus working in your 12th house of the subconscious, Saturn structures also your relationships. Your work will be very important, health and routine, as I said. The good thing is that Uranus is trining you from another fellow Earth sign. So you truly seek for authenticity, liberation from the old, change of your environment, and freedom, independency and freedom. Wow. Interesting year, Virgos. But here is the time for me just to briefly mention that, yeah, you see, I'm trying to do even the general forecast as precise as possible. But of course, the most detailed and personal and precise are the private consultations, right? And I offer 2 astrological services. The first one I call natal chart analysis. Yeah, because I love analyzing. I'm a big Scorpio fellow, so I have to dig deep to the obsession, to the small details and the truth. And natal charts are so important, really. Even if you have not yet visited any other astrologer, or if you had, but you want another point of view from another specialist, but I would recommend starting with the natal chart analysis. I prepare for this around 3 days, and then we perform it live via Skype. I like Skype because it allows me to share the screen with you. It records our video conversation for you. And it does not limit me with the time, because I believe Zoom does. But in Skype, I can go on, and usually my consultations are of 2 hours. We dive deep into your natal chart, which is like your fingerprint, really. Everything is described there. Some people would say your life, your destiny, but I'm not a fatalistic astrologer. I like astropsychology, and I work with the natal chart as to see the components of your own psyche, you're conscious, of course, which you know about yourself, right? But it's just about 10% of the iceberg, as Freud liked to point it out, while the 90% of you, of the iceberg, is hidden underwater. So you anyways discover yourself in the society through relationships with others, but also such specialists and consultants like psychologists and astrologers can give you a shortcut to see yourself from within, check also the blind spot. And in the natal chart, you see your soul's purpose and mission in life, what you have to pass through, where you come from, what you have experienced in your life so far. Mostly, of course, it's important childhood, family patterns. We analyze those, how they formed you, because what we call destiny is actually our own character, don't you agree? Is how we act, react, interact with others coming from within, what we feel, what we fear, what we desire, what we aspire to. So really many things can be seen in the natal chart, your talents, but also your own fears, your blockages, predispositions. Really, so that's amazing. And then once you know well your natal chart, and this consultation stays with you for life. But again, I'm saying that, of course, in 2 hours you cannot talk about absolutely everything, and that's why people then turn also to different specialist astrologers and so on, or several times to the same one. But I think with me, even one natal chart analysis, oftentimes it's so revealing. You can check the reviews of my clients in my Facebook page, Today Energy. I leave the links to my social accounts, Facebook and Instagram, in the description below this video, as well as my contacts if you would like to contact me, ask additional questions about my astrological work and consultations, or purchase some. Now, the second type of consultation that I offer is the yearly forecast. Yes, I work usually with 12 months ahead, not more. Once again, I don't predict, because I'm not a fortune teller to predict. I'm an astrologer, I'm a scientist, I am a researcher. I prepare 3 days your 12 months forecast, and I deliver it in a written form. It's 10 pages Word format, which I send you later on email or Messenger, however you prefer it. And people read it in one day, because I ask, if you have questions, to please follow me back with the questions in one day after, because later I go to another client, and I dedicate about 4 days to one person, to one client. It's absolutely customized. So later on, I cannot anymore respond to questions 6 months after I delivered you the forecast. But definitely my clients have told me that they print it out, that they highlight with different markers, colors, the dates I point, the periods I point, the explanation I give, right? Because I am very detailed. My progressed ascendant is in Virgo, so I cannot just keep it 1 hour or just 2 pages. I want to give you as much details as possible so you can take your decisions. Again, I'm not the astrologer who will tell you you will stay with your boyfriend or you will not stay with your boyfriend, because it's your decision. You don't have to then blame the astrologer because you wanted to stay with this man, but the astrologer told you to separate. It's messing up with people's lives. But I can give you the general forecast of the year, and where your attention anyway will go throughout the year, what kind of events you most likely will expect to happen, and what are your choices of reaction. Because imagine, for me, the astrological forecast is like the weather forecast. We will be told that in May there will be storms and rains, right? But if for one person that means hey, I love rain, depends on the natal chart wiring. Hey, I will go to dance under the rain. Then maybe I'll meet someone there, like a soulmate, and we will form a relationship. Nice, right? And it was a stormy forecast. But for another person, they might realize that they have a hole in their ceiling. So they might want to go dance under the rain or not, depends. In any case, if they don't want to be flooded, because again, they might be flooded. But if they take the precautions, the measures, to rebuild their roof, and it will cost them money and effort, and yeah, it's not pleasant, but they will be protected from the rain, right? So you see how just advising you can give you already the general idea of the year ahead. And as we say, forewarned, forearmed. And also, as one lovely client of mine likes to say, and for calmed down, because my forecasts usually are kind of calming down, because I am not, again, fatalistic. And yeah, like some people prefer to purchase this 12-month forecast at the beginning of a new calendar year, but frankly, you can do it anytime. For me, the most logical is if you would purchase it before your birthday. Because for me, besides this calendar year from 1st of January till the next 1st of January, which we all follow as society, but on a personal level, we have our personal vibrations. And every birthday marks a beginning of a new personal year for each person, when different sectors of the natal chart, different houses with different planets, different interaction between them are activated. That's why not every year, not everything at once happens. Well, it might if you have somewhere stellium. Those years could be pretty intense indeed. But other than that, there are some certain focuses, right? I use several techniques for forecasting. What you see in my videos here in YouTube are the transits, studies of the cycles of planets, what they're doing in the current time on the sky, or what they were doing 28 years ago, or what they will do next year, right? Doesn't matter. But there are also really other additional, very important and interesting techniques. Some of them tell you more about external events. Some of them describe more your internal attitude. Because again, if for one person, moving out of home can be a tragedy and a stress, for another person it's like, yay, finally I'm free, I'm going to Madagascar, right? So yeah, very personal as well, dear Virgos. So I want to thank you, of course, for watching my videos, for sharing them with your loved ones, for putting likes in case you find, of course, this information interesting and useful and precise. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And if you would like to express gratitude or support even financially me, my work, my channel, then you can do it two ways. One, I leave in the description below the video my PayPal account. And second, YouTube itself gives you this button, which looks like a heart underneath the video. You can click on it and you will see the range from maybe like, I don't know, 1 or 2 euros till I don't know how many, as well as to send a thank you, a donation as it's called. So, dear Virgos, I wish you a fantastic, beautiful, prosperous, abundant 2023, the year in which you will experience transformation, mature, grow, achieve success, which you truly deserve, achieve social status, respect, admiration by the others. I hope only loyal, lovely, loving people will be with you. You will support each other mutually. So stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.